All right, one more idea here. That when I was thinking about this MRI slice that I drew back here, yeah, getting all that to do what it's supposed to do. You know, checking over here on the other side, is that still making sense? The top of this meeting the top of that. You know, look at my box. Is the top of this lining up with the top of that as it comes around? Turns out, yes. Way to go, Brad. Nice. Okay. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to get a slice up here happening. So which way is up? This is going pretty straight here. Up is this way. Maybe I want it back a little bit farther, like about right here. Might come out a little bit, that leather, you know, on mine, it's slightly out. And it's coming up. Coming up, and then it starts to head in a little. So first of all, which way is up, and then which way is in from up? You might start with, you know, which way is up. So I talk about which way is up, blah, 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 blah. Make him stop saying that. The other question is, which way is side to side? You'll notice that that changes as it goes across as well, right? The side to side is this direction. So I am still using that box, even though the box is starting to dissolve a little bit up in here. I'm not going to use that part. But the thing that needs to remain is like, which way is left and right? This thing comes over here, hits the other side of the shoe right there. What's it doing on that other side of the shoe? You know, it's straight up and down on mine. Different soles do different things, right? Yours might flare out, especially as you're doing this back here in this business. Look for which way is up, but if you've got like a stiletto heel that's flaring out, go with where's up first, and then flare it out from there, right? Find that. And it's all dependent on which way is up. So up is this direction. The other thing I might even do is I might think, well, that's just, there's my soul, soul to soul. That sounds like a song. A really bad song. But that is the soul to soul, right? Make him stop saying that. Okay, I will stop saying that. Now I'm going to look from this point to this point. What's that do there? It still comes up a little bit higher on this side. Not as much as this. But it's a little higher here. And surprisingly high. Over here, that's coming up. A lot of these are judgment calls, right? But it's a judgment call that I'm really thinking pretty hard about. Looking at the shoe, how does this shape change the farther down it comes? A little bit taller on this side than on that side. Okay. sit back from it, step back from it. Look at it. What do I think about these MRI slices? Do they look like, when I hold this thing up, do they look like what those slices would look like in perspective? When I hold it up this way, does it make sense? Here's another thing that I want to do. I've got a place right here, a pretty significant place on my shoe, which is a fairly simple shoe, in that I've got one piece of leather that's wrapping over this other piece of leather. Your shoe might be doing all kinds of stuff. It might be a cross trainer shoe, or it could be, you know, I don't know, it could do lots and lots of things. But that's what my shoe does. So I need to find the specific thing that my shoe does at this point. It's right here, actually. It's right here. I know that this starts here, it comes to the highest point here, and then it's going to do the same thing over on that side. Again, right over the top of that. So I found this thing. Well, I need to make sure. So I'm going to come down from there. Go across. And then come up. Have I got that happening? This thing actually comes over farther, looks like. I didn't do that, but it doesn't really matter because that's going to be gone. But it does tell me where this thing is on my shoe, the other side of that little slice of leather. Now, I don't want to go into all the eccentricities of my particular shoe, but the one thing that every shoe is going to pretty much have is the place where the heel goes in, and then there's the place where the top of the shoe, the top of the foot goes in. You know what I'm saying? This part. So I've got that on my shoe as being right here, and I've got the bottom of it right there. Now, the way that I've drawn my shoe, I'm not sure that I would be looking into that. I think that it would be convex rather than concave. So this was freaking me out a little bit, that straight line here, that was coming down to this. But I think the reason why is that this is sort of curving down this direction. You know what I'm saying? Convex. It's a mountain rather than scooping down. This is concave because I'm looking in the cave. This is coming up here like that. It's kissing that point, and then it's coming down this way. So if I think about what is it? Well, it's kind of an ellipse. Look how that stuff comes back around. It's going to come back to this point. Holy cow. An ellipse thing that comes out here, and this is the wide point on that ellipse on its way back down to this thing. Holy cow. Now it's not quite an ellipse. But that thing comes out there farther. When I look at this and I think about where is the midpoint on this thing, the midline would be somewhere in here, down to this. So I would see that midline here, but that's not the widest place out on my shoe. I'm going to see, right, more on the other side of that. Just like if you were looking at my nose, and it's a large nose, I realize, but let's say that somebody tricked me into rolling a quarter that I had drawn a pencil around a couple of times. This is an old bar joke. Try to roll the quarter down into the circle on this piece of paper that you've drawn a pencil around. Try this next time you're with a drunken friend at a bar. The idea is that you're rolling a line down every single time that's that midline. If you think about that midline, there's part of my nose that's on the other side of the midline, okay? I feel very self-conscious to have drawn so much attention to my nose and to have made you look at it so much. But the idea is that here's the midline, and then there's some on its way down to there. Midline, ellipse, 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 down to there. Is it a perfect ellipse? Of course not. But all that business drawing with the ellipse has hopefully taught us a thing or two. Wowzers. So this is coming down into here, pow, underneath that thing that is coming up this way. This thing is coming down here, disappearing behind it. And now it is time for me to erase some stuff. So now if I start to think about, well, what if I did a, one more of these? Good heavens, do I want to do one more of these? I confess to you that I do not want to do that. Does that mean that I shouldn't? Of course, it doesn't. It means nothing of the sort. So I want to draw something like this that's coming up and over this thing. Good heavens. That's coming down in here somewhere. I don't know. In drawing this, the thing is, it's coming at an oblique angle from this thing. What would that do? It's in here. I'm going to maybe start with this. At this point of my shoe, it's actually flaring out. So what I want to do is I want to look for up, 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 up is here. And I want to flare out from up. And then, it comes up there quite a ways. A whole bunch of ways. And then it's going to come across there on its way to doing whatever it's going to do over here. Down here, that's straight up and down. So I'm going to draw the rest of this thing straight up and down. At that point in my drawing is kind of like this. Pow. It's a real long line. Longer. I'm surprised at how long that is. Is that really what straight up and down is? Yes, it is. I want to get that right though. Gonna zip across. Where is across? The cross is there. Then up, 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 up. Why are you doing this, Brad? I'm doing this because I want there to be, between 3 and 5 MRI slices. Look at the far end. This is the part I can't see, but I need to know what it is. Need to know what it's doing. It's right about here. Straight up. It continues straight up. There's a little interruption. You know, these two have got to make sense with each other. This is going to come down. This is going to come up. And I have to look at the whole thing. Like, what does that thing do? You know, it might start to head down more than I had it heading down. It hits this part as it comes up and over that thing. And comes in there. So these midlines, or these cross lines, these MRI slices, start out as kind of a guess, an educated guess. There's a little interruption with that stitching. And then you got to firm them up. You have to think about the shoe all the way through. Think about the shoe all the way through. Oh, I forget I said that. Do I like that? I kind of don't. This thing comes down here. It's coming down lower. I kind of really don't. Hold it in the direction that it's going. Hold it straight to your eye. You are trying to make your decisions based on looking at it in both those ways. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is so close to now being at a tipping point. And that tipping point, everything gets easier. Everything gets more fun. Okay? It's close. It's not quite there. But I want you to get it this far. 3 to 5 MRI slices. Right? Choom, choom, choom. You can do that. I believe in you.